15 actors currently rotting in jail, and the reasons why. Imagine having everything, fame, fortune, and millions of fans, only to lose it all in a whirlwind of terrible decisions. These 15 actors once walked red carpets, had careers many could only dream of, but they're now locked away in prison, their lives forever changed by their actions. What drove them down such a dark path? Let's dive into their stories and uncover the shocking reasons they're rotting behind bars. 15. Michael Jace. Michael Jace was known for playing the righteous officer Julian Lowe on The Shield, but in 2014, he did something that shocked everyone. He shot and killed his wife, April, right in front of their two young children. Jace had been struggling with financial troubles and deep jealousy, suspecting his wife of wanting to leave him. His response was to shoot her in the legs, taunting her, "If you like running, run to heaven." This wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment crime. Jace had a history of domestic violence, and the courtroom revealed just how deep his rage went. Now, at 62, he's serving 40 years to life, essentially ensuring he'll never walk free again. How could someone with everything spiral into such devastating violence? 14. Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson, who played the cool, sarcastic Stephen Hyde on that '70s show, shocked fans when multiple women accused him of sexual assault. The crimes occurred in the early 2000s, but thanks to his deep ties to the Church of Scientology, these horrifying allegations were kept under wraps for years. Masterson's victims bravely came forward during the Me Too movement, and after years of legal battles, he was convicted in 2023. He's now serving 30 years to life in prison. How many more could there be, still living with the trauma he caused? 13. Amy Locane. Amy Locane was a star on Melrose Place before her life took a tragic turn. In 2010, she drove drunk and caused a fatal car crash, killing 60-year-old Helen Seaman. Locane's blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit, and her reckless driving destroyed an entire family. At first, she was sentenced to just 3 years, but public outrage and appeals led to a harsher sentence. Today, she's serving 8 years, and the weight of her actions will follow her for the rest of her life. How does one night of bad decisions lead to so much devastation? 12. Drew Drexel. Drew Drexel was a beloved champion on American Ninja Warrior, known for his athletic prowess and charming personality. But behind the scenes, he harbored a dark secret. Drexel was accused of sexually exploiting a minor over several years. The shock was immense when these accusations surfaced in 2020. Drexel's legal battle is still ongoing, but he faces a possible 45-year sentence if convicted. How does someone who seemed to embody strength and honor fall so far from grace? 11. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was once the king of Hollywood, producing iconic films like Pulp Fiction and The King's Speech. But behind the glamour, Weinstein was a serial predator, abusing his position of power to harass and assault women for decades. The revelations of his crimes during the Me Too movement shook Hollywood to its core. In 2020, Weinstein was convicted of sexual assault and sentenced to 23 years in New York, with an additional 16 years in California. His once glorious empire is now in ruins, and Weinstein will likely die in prison. How does a man with such power and influence use it to destroy lives? 10. Josh Duggar. Josh Duggar, the eldest son of 19 kids and counting, was once the face of wholesome family values. But behind that facade lay a disturbing truth. In 2021, Duggar was arrested for possession of child pornography, with material so horrifying that investigators described it as some of the worst they'd ever seen. Duggar was sentenced to over 12 years in federal prison. His wife, Anna, stood by him throughout the trial, but for most of the public, his actions were unforgivable. How could someone with such a seemingly perfect life fall into such darkness? 9. Jared Fogle. Jared Fogle's story seemed like a dream. He lost over 200 pounds eating Subway sandwiches and became the chain's spokesperson. But behind his inspiring public persona was a man involved in child exploitation. In 2015, it was revealed that Fogle had been part of a child pornography ring, and he was swiftly arrested. Fogle was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison, with a long road ahead before he'll ever be considered for parole. How does a man who had it all become so deeply corrupt? 8. Zach Avery. Zach Avery may not be a household name, but his crime affected hundreds of people. Avery orchestrated a massive Ponzi scheme, convincing investors to pour over $650 million into fake licensing deals with Netflix and HBO. For years, he used new investors' money to pay off older ones, living a life of luxury at their expense. In 2021, Avery's scheme collapsed, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. His victims' lives were shattered, and Avery now spends his days behind bars. 7. Will Hayden. Will Hayden, the star of Sons of Guns, turned out to be hiding a monstrous secret. Hayden was convicted of sexually assaulting minors, including his own daughter. More victims came forward after his arrest, painting a disturbing picture of a man who preyed on the vulnerable. Hayden is serving multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole. How does someone live with the weight of such horrific crimes? 6. Joe Son. Joe Son, who played a minor role in Austin Powers, was convicted of a brutal sexual assault that occurred in 1990. It wasn't until nearly 2 decades later that DNA evidence linked him to the crime. But even in prison, Son's violent tendencies didn't stop. He murdered his cellmate in 2017, adding another 27 years to his life sentence. Son's story is a chilling reminder of how some people never leave their violent past behind. 5. Skyler Delon. Skyler Delon, a former child actor from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, was convicted of murdering a retired couple for financial gain. He threw them overboard from their yacht after tying them to an anchor. Delon is now on death row for one of California's most shocking crimes. 4. Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic, the infamous star of Tiger King, spiraled out of control in a feud with animal rights activist Carol Baskin. After trying to hire hitmen to kill her, Exotic is now serving 21 years. His bizarre, larger-than-life persona couldn't save him from a lengthy prison sentence. 3. Jerry Harris. Jerry Harris, the breakout star of Netflix's Cheer, was sentenced to 12 years for child sexual exploitation. Once a symbol of joy and inspiration, Harris's fall from grace is a dark reminder of the secrets people hide behind their smiles. 2. Shannon Richardson. Shannon Richardson, who had small roles in The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries, mailed ricin-laced letters to politicians, including President Obama. Her attempt to frame her husband backfired, and she's now serving 18 years in prison for her dangerous plot. 1. Colin Walker. Colin Walker, known for his role in Superfly, used his fame to lure and assault women. His heinous actions led to a 50-year prison sentence, ensuring he will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars. A man who used his status for evil, now paying the ultimate price. These 15 actors had it all: money, fame, and the world at their feet. Yet they made choices that led to their ultimate downfall. Which story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. You never know what shocking tale we'll reveal next.